Several years ago, I was in Target or Walmart and I was standing in the checkout line. I can't remember which company it was, but as I got to the checkout counter and then as we was pushing my stuff through, this lady looked up and recognized me from the church. And I didn't necessarily recognize her, and I really don't think she was from Valley Baptist as I think back on this story. But she looked at me and she said, "Hey, aren't you one of those pastors over there at Valley Baptist Church?" And I said, "Yes, I am." And she said, "You're the church with all the kids in it." And I thought that that was one of the greatest compliments that anyone outside of our congregation has ever given our church family, is that, hey, you're the church with all the kids in it. Now, we had a brief chat after that as we were checking out, and I cannot say for certain that she was connecting it to the Vacation Bible School experience, but I assume that she probably was. Because through the years, we have had thousands and thousands and thousands of kids attend our Vacation Bible School. And so it has impacted and imprinted Valley Baptist Church, whether good or bad, on the hearts and minds of thousands of children and their parents through the years. Valley has a tremendous program for children and kids. We've talked about this already before. Certainly our Sunday school ministry, I think now we call them Valley Kids Life Groups, Awana program on Wednesday night, children's choir, summer camps. But one of the biggest events all year long is Vacation Bible School. This past year we had, I think the highest total was a little over 2,700 kids in Vacation Bible School for the day, which might have been the biggest that we've ever had. But there's an element of Vacation Bible School that's taken on a life of its own. We had the idea years and years and years ago when we first started Vacation Bible School that we would have an opening assembly and a closing assembly. And in fact, that was not anything we invented. A lot of churches through the years had developed that kind of approach. But we thought we would do something a little different with the closing assembly. One of the ways that we would try to promote coming back to Vacation Bible School for the next day was to close out in the closing assembly with a skit that would create some tension, create some anticipation for something that was going to happen the next day. And so through the years, we developed all kinds of wacky characters that played an extremely important role during those closing skits at Valley Baptist Church's Vacation Bible School. We continue it right here to today. And oftentimes, now that we've been here for 40 years, we've seen kids that have gone through who now have kids, who now have grandkids. And they will often catch me at any time of the year, not just during Vacation Bible School time, and say, "Pastor Phil, I remember when you had Bionic Baptist in Vacation Bible School," or "I remember when you had Junior." This was a character that we had for many years during Vacation Bible School. Well, during the Junior era, there was something that happened quite by accident that has become an important part of the closing ceremony year after year after year. We repeat it. And now, whether or not that will continue into the next 40 years, we don't know, but we've probably done this at least 25 or 30 times, and this is what happened. Every year, Vacation Bible School has a theme. We purchase our Vacation Bible School material from Lifeway Christian Resources, which is a Southern Baptist company, and it's the largest Christian publishing house in the world. And every year they do a tremendous amount of business by developing a theme and promoting the Vacation Bible School program and curriculum and everything that goes with us. It's an easy way for us to be able to just take the material, learn what it is, and then put on the program. One year the theme was like back on the farm or farm life, and it could be any theme every year that was that would be presented to us. But this one was farm life, and we had a lot of fun with that skit. I can't remember exactly what we did, but in the context of that particular year's Vacation Bible School, we developed a character by accident that has become extremely famous in Vacation Bible School lore here at Vacation Bible School at Valley Baptist Church. And I'm talking about Crash the Flying Frog. Here's what happened. Matt Weir, who was a character that we call Junior, caught this big old bullfrog. Now, I don't mean a little bitty frog. I mean a big one. This thing was huge. And he just thought there's got to be some way we could use this frog in a skit. And I can't even remember exactly what the storyline was, but we were going to use the frog in the skit during Vacation Bible School. We had him in a little fish bowl like this, right? And he was stuffed down in there, and he was huge. And in the skit, we were going to take the frog out and do something with it. I forget exactly what. And we were still over in the multi-purpose room with our Vacation Bible School. So this was long before we had our main worship center, which was built in 1999. This was back in 1992 or 93 or 90, way back in the 90s. And as Matt pulled the frog out of the fish bowl, he was slick and he was slippery and he was slimy. There was some water in there too that we'd put in there with him. Well, he jumped out of Matt's hand and landed right on the front row of all the kids. And then this frog, this huge bullfrog, began to jump like this. And the reaction was magical. Number one, all of the little girls on the front row began to scream, the wildest girl scream that you can imagine, and stand up on their chairs away from it. And all of the boys, as I recollect it, began to dive to try to catch the frog. And this frog was hopping all the way, almost to the very back of the auditorium. And it created this moment of complete and total chaos by accident. After that Vacation Bible School, we decided, you know what, that's not a bad idea. We might try that again. So the next year, we caught another frog. And we put him in the skit, and somehow, some way, miraculously, on a Tuesday of Vacation Bible School that year, the frog got loose. And we realized that this was such a good shtick that we should continue to do it every year. So for probably 20 years or more, we would release a frog into the crowd during one of the closing assemblies of the program. And now, one of the most fascinating things happened with the frog, because we had to develop a different way to release the frog in the crowd. We just came up with different ways because it was just such a wow moment that everybody would love it and they would never forget it. We had the idea that what if we had a flying frog? And so we billed it to the children one day that tomorrow we're going to have a flying frog. And what we did is we took a big old balloon, huge balloon, about this big around, and we blew it up with helium. Then we put the fishing bowl tied with fishing line underneath it. And then underneath that, we took some washers, back home in Oklahoma we say washers stacked up like that. And we could use that as a weight balance. And we got it just right. And this frog would just float with the balloon, the large balloon, and you could take and push it, the fish bowl, and you could push it like this, and it would just fly over here, and you could push it back. And so we built it as a flying frog. So we tied a fishing line onto it because we didn't want it to get away from us. And we pushed it like this across the heads of the children. Now, this was over in the main sanctuary in front of 2,000 kids. And something went wrong. I'm not exactly sure what happened, but the frog and the balloon got away from our controllers, our wranglers, and the line got out of one of their hands, and the frog took off to the top of the auditorium, and there he was, 35, 40 feet in the air, whatever that room is, 30 feet anyway. That balloon and that fish bowl and that frog were hanging from the heavens. And of course, you can imagine what this did to the children. And so that year, we did have a flying frog at Valley Baptist Church Vacation Bible School. But let me also say that in the course of these many years of flying frogs and having frogs released among the children, we've never had an injured frog. We've had some children injured, but we've never had an injured frog. So Crash, the flying frog, is famous among tens of thousands of children in Bakersfield and Oildale.